We've all had a D&D campaign start in a tavern. Why not? It's a grounding place that puts your characters firmly in the fantasy world and gives your players time to meet and greet. Sometimes that's all you need, right? Well, when the problems come, they come quick. What if one of your players is shy and finds it difficult to insert themselves into a conversation and make their character known? How did this group find each other and why are they working together? What's the inciting incident to get them to leave the tavern? Inevitably, this is going to put pressure on the DM to push plot rather than having the characters follow their story. I want to explore other options to help you make each of your player characters shine and create a story engine that's fueled almost entirely by character over plot. Before we start, if you like the video, I want to encourage you to subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel. Thanks. Alright, let's address the first problem of the tavern start. Your player characters don't get time to show off who their characters are before being asked to fit them into a party. Introduce characters at their most characterful. A character is more than their race, class, and abilities. A character is aesthetic, morality, goals, history. A character is story. Without character, you have nothing. So why not let that shine from the jump? Let's look at how Brennan Lee Mulligan from Dimension 20 introduces the characters in the Game of Thrones-inspired D&D game, A Crown of Candy.
Crisp armor and a neatly pressed cape. The battle pop at his side. We see the Lord Commander of the Tart Guard stride through the halls of Castle Candy. A new day has begun, and a very important day indeed, for it is the Saints' Day of the Princesses. We see first awake and most vigilant Commander of the Tart Guard and sworn member of the Knights of Northumbria. Murph, could you describe your character for us?
After opening with a sweeping description of the world, we jump right into Murph's character, Sir Theobald Gumbar of the Knights of Northumbria. We meet Theobald in his element, worrying about the royal family, stressed out and determined to follow the rules and see the princesses to their Saints' Day celebration. We cut right over to the princesses, who are running away from their responsibilities and classes. Immediately, we understand the characters in play, their motivations, personality, goals, and conflicts. Introducing them individually and then pointing them towards interacting with each other lets everyone understand the characters in play and how they'll be important to the story going forward. One of the things I like to do when introducing characters is start each of them off with a personal quest, often one given to them by one of the characters of importance from their backstory. This acts as a sort of secret goal for the character, which adds a lot of steam to the story engine as they attempt to complete their own goals while working with the party, even if those goals are at odds with the party's. So how do you do this specifically? Just remember to hit these points. Number 1, set the scene. The character is doing something badass and core to their character. You don't want a boring character intro. If they're a thief, they're getting the details for a heist before the police burst through the door and now they have to find out who snitched. If they're a paladin, they've just captured an illegal necromancer and are asked whether to torture them to find the rest of the cult. Number 2, once you set the scene, ask them to describe their character physically. Number 3, end the scene by pushing the character towards the rest of the party, who must now work together to complete a goal. If you're finding this intimidating, remember that this is what Session 0 is for. Get everyone on board with the characters in play and find the inciting incident that would tie everyone together. Also talk to your players and make sure they're all down for helping you get to the point in the story where the group meets up. You don't want some edgelord specifically trying to avoid meeting and working with the rest of the party. Get everyone on the same page. Now that you have introduced the PCs, let's get the game moving. The hot start. Once your characters are shining, you can put them into what I call a nefarious team-building exercise. In Fantasy High, the DM, Brennan Lee Mulligan, gives each of his players detention due to their actions early in the game.
That's immediate detention for both of you. I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you detention. Okay, immediate detention. We are 3 for 3.
This puts them all in the same room, but to knit them together, they need to survive something. One dead lunch lady later, and the kids are traumatized, covered in cream corn, and forever friends for having survived this ordeal together. This way of knitting the party together is definitely one I'd recommend if they don't already have a backstory that unites them. Nothing makes friendship closer than shared trauma. That's probably why you and your friends are so much closer after playing D&D. You could also start right from the action and introduce your characters during initiative. This can be tricky to get right, and you may need to rely on some flashbacks to lay the groundwork for each character. For example, the party is in the middle of committing a heist on a moving train. Each character has a specific role: safecracker, crowd control, lookout. Whenever you settle on a character, you could flash back to what brought them to this situation. This is something you could do if you really wanted to shake up a campaign right from the start. Character fuels story. The last thing I want to hit on is the why. When you are building a world in D&D, you can get caught up in the story you want to tell as a DM. I want to promise you now that the story your players will create on their own is better than anything you could have planned. D&D is a cooperative storytelling game, and I think that this design helps lean into that. I've learned a lot watching Dimension 20 over the past few weeks, and I highly encourage you all to do so as well. Brennan Lee Mulligan delivers a masterclass in dungeon mastering, but you can tell how much better things are every time he passes the ball to his players, who are also excellent. Rely on your players and lean into the characters they brought to the table, and your game will improve immensely. That I can promise you. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and share with your gaming group. My name is Ben DeHart, and character fuel can't melt plot beams. Yes, that was my first draft at the outro, but I'm keeping it. See ya.